Hey, what's up guys? Nate here from Protoculture and Shadow Chronicles. I just got a quick little video for you guys today. Just a little hack for Serum. We're going to just look at step sequencing in Serum. Now, there's been a couple of tutorials around for this. It doesn't have a sequencer per se or an arpeggiator. But you can use the LFOs to do step sequencing. However, you can only do a maximum of 16. So I'm going to show you a little trick to get around that limitation and get up to 32 steps of sequencing inside of Serum using the mod matrix. So we're just going to do a really simple patch. I've just got a saw wave, the default thing. This is the Serum white skin. Before anybody asks, I'll drop a link in the comments or in the description. It's pretty cool. I like the little sort of throwback to sort of retro or old effects modules. We'll just stick a delay on there for now. Let's dive into the modulation. We're just going to whack on a filter. I'm just going to whack this down to 24 dB and turn up the resonance. And let's turn that on. So we're going to use the LFOs to modulate the filter cutoff. And we can probably do some shifting of the octaves and stuff as well to kind of create like an arpeggiator pattern as well. But first off, we're going to set up our step sequencer for the cutoff. So if you hold down the Shift key, that's in Windows, I'm not 100% sure on Mac, when editing an LFO, you can apply sort of a step sequencer pattern to the LFO. You'll see down at the bottom you've got grid settings here, and this will be the snap, and you'll see it goes like all the way from 1 up to 16, but that's pretty much the limit. So let's just put in a little random step here. We're going to hold down the Shift key and we're going to draw in some steps, and we're going to use this to sort of create sort of like SNH modulation of the filter cutoff. Now all we have to do is drag that to our filter cutoff. I'm going to whack this into mono mode quickly. We'll turn on the legato as well. And set our rate to a bar. So we get that. The problem is now that if I wanted to do sort of a faster thing with little rolls and 30-second notes or whatever, I'm not going to get much variation because we're going to be running through like a very, very short sequence here of only 16 steps. So there's a way to actually stretch this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into LFO 2, which is going to be my second bank of steps. I'll do something completely different here. Maybe just do something like this and add in just some random steps so you can hear the difference between the two. And we're going to do the same and assign this to LFO, the LFO to the cutoff as well. And once again, set this to bar. The problem that we have now is that these are both modulating the cutoff at exactly the same time, which is not what we want. We want two separate sequences running. So there's a little hack to do this, and we're going to get into the mod matrix to do this. So we can see there's our assignments for the filter cutoff. We're going to jump into LFO 3 now. Go to the basic section and load up a square wave. And once you've got your square wave assigned, we're going to push this all the way up to 2 bars. So we're going to have the first bar playing the 16 steps in LFO 1. The second bar playing the 16 steps in LFO 2. And the way we're going to do this is by actually using LFO 3 as a sidechain or auxiliary source for each of these assignments over here. So we are going to put this one into LFO 3 is going to go in there, and LFO 3 is going to go here. So you can see what's happening now is it's triggering LFO 1, and then nothing's happening afterwards. To rectify that, what we're going to do is invert the modulation for LFO 2. We'll invert this one. Take a listen to what happens now. It'll run through the 16 steps, and then when this reaches a negative number, it'll actually invert that and apply the sidechain to our second LFO, and we can take a listen to that. If you look up here, you can see them like scaling or switching between the two different patterns at the same time. So that's basically how you'd sort of hack a additional 16 steps on the step modulation in Serum. We can take this patch a little bit further. For those of you that don't know, Serum has a lot more than 4 LFOs as well. You access these just by, if you go in here, you'll see you have up to 8. If you select 8, it'll automatically just put in all the other LFOs for you here that you can use. In this case, what we're going to do is we will set these all to the center, as close as we can get. And I'm going to create a little arpeggiator pattern with this. We'll just do that. And there we go. So now what we can do is assign our LFO 4 to the octave input on our oscillator. We'll just drag that down until we get to 1 octave up and down. We're going to need to set that to 1 bar as well. And there you go. Additionally, we can use a gate on this as well. If we assign, let's set up a little gate pattern. It's another useful way of utilizing these step envelopes. And let's, for the sake of this demo, do we'll set this one to a half a bar. We'll set this one to a full bar, just so you can hear the difference again. And so each one of these would be a 16th step. We'll do this. And the last one will put in a little roll for the gate. And let's see if that works. Now what we're going to do is we're going to assign this to number 5 to our level. So you have some gating happening there. Once again, we're going to assign number 6 as well. And again, we need that to flick between the two. So what we're going to do is use our same. Actually, for this case, I'll show you something different there. We'll start off with the square wave once again. So if we set this to 2 once again, we will basically use the first half of the square wave will be triggering LFO 5. Then we actually want to stay on LFO 5 for a few more steps before jumping into our little roll at the end, which is going to be this little half section, because remember, we're running that in half a bar instead of a full bar. So let's try that out. We need to go back to our matrix now and just assign the new pulse wave that we have here. We're going to assign that to the aux sources once again. And let me just double check we are on LFO 7. And LFO 7 inverted should give us exactly what we're looking for. Let's take a listen to the gating effect now. And there you have it. So you can see with some creative routing in the modulation section, you can get some pretty complex patterns and movement going in your patches. I hope you guys found this little tip useful and make use of this hack in your tracks. I'll catch you again soon on the channel. See you soon. Ciao. Bye.